Hi. Nice to see you guys. So this season has been a bit dark.
Yes.
A little bit darker than last season. I didn't know if that would be possible, but it has. Your character seems to be internalizing a lot more, and I think it's because of separation of the family. And then, what can you tell us about the remaining episodes this season and how the family dynamic will...
Well, to speak to the first thing you said, Tom does a lot less talking, he's a lot more contemplative this season. Last season was about him trying to lead through words, speechifying a lot. He got elected president of the United States, and he was suddenly put in this position where he had to act like a statesman and inspire people with some rhetoric. And I always felt like he was wearing a suit that didn't really fit him, but he was doing the best he could. He knew how presidents behaved, he knew what they were supposed to say, he knew what they were supposed to act like, and so he was going through the motions, whether he organically felt like he was suited to the job or not. And this season, being isolated, I think he really starts to fixate on leadership through symbology. And that was what the catalyst for the whole Ghost storyline was, that this idea of creating a Kilroy, the idea of creating a mythic character that people could really find inspiration in, that was bigger than any individual man or action could be. And that idea of building a myth, and then having that reputation extend beyond your circle of influence is part of the storytelling for the rest of the season. Eventually he sort of becomes a man of action again, but for the first part of the season, pulling back from that, really assessing very soberly how he wanted to lead in the future was a big part of our decision making.
I think what I see in Tom, though, is that he doesn't want to be labeled the hero. That's why I think when he wore the mask, he didn't want everyone to know that it was him. He just wanted to help, but he doesn't want that recognition.
I think he doesn't want the recognition, but I think he also knows that the Ghost can live on beyond Tom Mason. Like, once he goes up on the ship and everybody starts putting on the same disguise and running around, everybody gets to taste a sense of what it's like to be their own leader.
Yeah.
And as the prison camp, you know, the fact that we were isolated, Matt got to be a Tom Mason in the school, Ann gets to be a Tom Mason in the search for Lexi. Everybody gets to be a leader in their own right in the storyline that they're isolated. And then in next week's show, we bring everybody back together again. And then have to reassess, now that everybody's had some independence and some autonomy and responsibility, how do we fit back together and who's going to lead it?
Right? Yeah.
For your character, Will Weaver, he's obviously experienced the tragedy recently with Jeannie. What can you tell us about the mindset that you're going, that you have to put yourself into to just keep going?
Weaver's been fighting for the second mass so long that it's become just a part of him, even though this could have brought him down. Somehow he's brought back in through Matt, through Tom, through the way Jeannie behaved in the end, the fight that she put up. So that there's something in him that the second mass has become so much a part of his soul that even with this most horrible thing that could happen, he's still fighting for this thing. It's been so intense for him that he can hold on to that to live. He can hold on to our family to live. There's a family that got built.
I love the intensity that you play with Weaver. It absolutely translates through the screen, and you can just feel that emotion come through, because when the scene where you and Jeannie, and you see how she fought for you, and when she passes, it was just such a tear-jerking moment for me. I just, the emotion that came through is really great. So thank you so much for doing such a great job. Yeah.
This man gives pearls before swine awful times up there on the set.
Well, it's a fantastic
He gives performances that aren't always captured on film, that we don't always edit properly.
That's right, for all of us. Right.
But there's moments of truth that he brings to it that are the anchors that allow everything else to sort of be plausible.
Yeah.
You can believe that this girl's got alien powers and can control the weather because of the way that he interacts with his child.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's great. It just says